Another type of dilution that we can perform in the lab is one that is known as a serial dilution. In serial dilutions, you make subsequent dilutions of a stock solution. So for example, imagine I have a stock solution and I take out 1 ml and I add it to 9 ml of diluent. So the dilution that's made, we use our formula again, which is the volume of stock divided by the total volume. I'm taking 1 ml and I'm adding it to 9 mLs. So my dilution is going to be 1 ml divided by 1 for the stock plus 9 for the diluent, and that gives me a 1 to 10, which is the same thing as 0.1, which is the same thing as 10 to the minus 1 dilution. A serial dilution now says that I take this diluted solution and dilute it again. So if I take out 1 ml of this and add it to 9 mL of that, I will again get a 0.1 or 10 to the minus 1 dilution. And if I do it again, I will get another 10 to the minus 1 dilution, or 0.1. And if I do it a final time, I will again get a 10 to the minus 1 dilution. So what we've seen so far is just by making dilutions over and over again, in each case we've made a 10 to the minus 1 or a 10-fold dilution. Now to figure out the final dilution, we do that by multiplying the dilutions made. So in my first vial here, the final dilution is the dilution that I first made. So my final dilution will be a 10 to the minus 1 dilution. To figure out the final dilution of this vial, we do that by taking the final dilution and multiplying it by the next dilution. So if I take this 10 to the minus 1 and multiply it by this dilution, 10 to the minus 1, that tells me that this vial has a final dilution of 0.01 or 10 to the minus 2 dilution. The final dilution here would be 10 to the minus 2 times 10 to the minus 1, which gets me 10 to the minus 3. And if I figure out the final dilution here, that's 10 to the minus 3 times this dilution, 10 to the minus 1, or 10 to the minus 4. If I said that my stock solution had a concentration of, say, 60 milligrams per mil, I could figure out the concentration of each vial according to its final dilution. So the concentration, which will be in mgs per mil in this case, is calculated by taking the stock solution concentration and multiplying that by the final dilution. So in my first vial here, the stock solution is 60 milligrams per mil, and I multiply it by its final dilution, 10 to the minus 1, which tells me that this concentration of solution will be 60 times 10 to the minus 1, which is the same thing as 6 milligrams per mil. The concentration in this vial will be, again, the stock concentration, 60 mg per mil, times 10 to the minus 2. 60 times 10 to the minus 2, which gives me 0.6 mg per mil. I can do the same thing with this concentration, so that will be 60 times 10 to the minus 3, which is 0.06 mg per mil. And finally, for the 10 to the minus 4, that would be 60 times 10 to the minus 4, which is 0.006 milligrams per mil.